If you run a home service business, there's a good chance that not only are you paying too much for your leads, but you're completely missing out on the best source of leads at the best ROI. I'm going to show you in just a moment what the very best source is for leads for home service businesses. But first, let's look at what are the most common ways that home service businesses get their leads these days. There's a good chance these are the types of things that you're doing right now to get leads, new customers for your business. I think a lot of home service businesses are taking advantage of the local service ads or LSAs in Google Maps. These tend to have a pretty good rate of actually getting you nice warm leads. The problem is they're not the cheapest ads to run, right? The good thing about them is they are, in Google Maps where people are actively looking for services. If you're not doing LSAs, then you're probably at least doing just the regular Google PPC ads, the Google AdWords ads. Those are the ones that are going to come up in the search results and things like that for organic search. You're probably also doing Facebook ads. We know how finicky those can be in terms of, 1 month you may have a great, cost per lead, and then the next month it skyrockets. You never really know what's going on, and it feels like with Facebook ads. Depending on what your specific home service business is, you might be doing things like door hangers, direct mail postcards, putting up yard signs. Maybe you're just relying on organic search, which is going to be, SEO optimizing your website. Maybe you're getting a bunch of leads from online directories like Yelp and Angie's. A lot of businesses, of course, are relying on word of mouth, but that's not really reliable. You can't count on a set number of leads each month coming, just from referrals from other existing customers and things like that. And some businesses are probably also doing local ads. This is going to be things like ads in newspapers, ads in maybe local newsletters, maybe sponsoring, some events around town, things like that. I thought it would be a good idea to start with this thread here in Reddit, posted just 9 months ago. I'm not sure why the person who started this thread actually deleted it, but the good news is that the answers are still here, so we can see if there's anything that we've missed, kind of see what some commonalities are here, basically so we can see like what are home service businesses doing for their leads, and are they managing to get the very best type of leads, because it's one we haven't talked about yet. It's not in that list because I find that most home service businesses who show up to work with GrowthCupid, they're completely missing out on this method that we're going to discuss in a moment here. So as we go through here, we're going to see that this top post, they're talking about flyers, yard signs, door hangers, connecting with local realtors, posting in 50 Facebook groups a week, sending letters out, things like that, improving their Google business profile, improving their website. So again, we're talking local SEO. Again, we have flyers. I don't spend any money on advertising. What else do we have here? More flyers. Here we have someone saying Facebook groups are the way to go. Spoiler alert, this is what we're going to be talking about today, because I do find that the home service businesses who already know about Facebook groups are almost 100% of the time going about it incorrectly, and it's really not going to be converting for them the way that it should. But let's see, what else is on here? So people getting, mentioned on Nextdoor, getting mentioned on Facebook pages, Facebook ads. So, it's a lot of the same stuff, right? But like I said, I find that Facebook groups marketing is really the most underrated way to get leads for a home service business locally, because basically you are going into these groups that are representative, of the communities in the areas that you service, and you are basically, it's almost as good as face-to-face selling, right? Because you are having those conversations with people who are local in your area. And I find that, any business where if you're spending at least $1,000 a month on paid ads, you are better off spending that money doing Facebook content marketing in these, Facebook groups. If you're completely new to this, I'm going to give you just a quick rundown of the ways that you can go about this. I'm not going to reveal all the secret sauce that we do here at GrowthCupid, but I will give you some tips where you can get started on your own, because this is a service that we offer. We have a great track record doing this. And like I said, if you're spending at least $1,000 a month on ads, we can probably get you a better ROI for that spend. So let's jump on over here to my Facebook, where I've already put in a search for Dallas. Just want to show you how to find these groups in case you do want to search for them on your own. So I have just put in Dallas, a very generic, location here. I don't advise this as being the best way to find these groups. You can see I've also selected groups over here on the side, but I just put this in to kind of show you like what comes up. So we've got stuff to do, networking, and when I put this in, I was thinking Dallas, Texas, but clearly we have Dallas, North Carolina, Dallas, Georgia, what's happening, rental rooms, things like that. Now, just putting in something generic like this, you can find a few ideas, like this town of Dallas. Let's check it out since it is a public Facebook group. We might find something interesting in here. We might not. What we're looking for are, groups that allow marketing, right? Because not all of these local Facebook groups are run by people, who are managing them, who will allow you to promote a business in them. So at GrowthKeeping, when we are doing this service for clients, those are the types of groups that we look for. But one thing you'll notice is this is one of the ways that people are 100% going about this the wrong way. So we're in this town of Dallas group, only, just under 11,000 members. We see here something random. It's just posted here. And we see it's from a cleaning service, right? So let's go ahead and click here. So this is a cleaning service, offering their service to everyone, in the town of Dallas Facebook group here. It's super promotional, right? It was just reshared by someone who I assume works there. No real context, no, special real offer just for this group or anything like that. This is 100% the wrong way to go about this. And it's a shame, really, because done correctly, this person could be getting tons of leads, but this is not the way. Let's see, though, if there's any reason to actually be marketing in this group, right? Here we have another person who's just promoting a reel for their company. Again, not the right way to go about doing this. Looks like they're actually kind of spamming the group. Let's see here if we find anything else that would be relevant here. We have a landscaping company, again, going about this the wrong way. And it's great to show people, what your business is and what they can do, but this is not the way to do it and actually get leads. You're not going to turn posts like this into customers. But let's just go up here. We're going to search. So let's say someone is looking for a plumber, right? So let's see if there are any plumber requests in this group. Okay, this is somebody just promoting their business. Again, this is not the way to do it. So it looks like we don't have anyone in this particular group looking for, services. Let's see, here we go. In search of a plumber to fix a clogged toilet. So then, we've got 24 comments here. This one thing about Facebook groups that makes the marketing more authentic, than paid ads and things like that is, you're getting personal recommendations, right? Like you are attaching a name and a face to the brand. That's why they're so effective at turning these posts, into actually real customers. So we have people just randomly, recommending stuff. Without fail, though, there's going to be people in here promoting their own services with no real reason why. So like this person who just took a picture of their business card. Like, why would you want to hire someone who just snapshotted this, right? So there's no one who has responded to this in a way that is definitely going to lead to this turning into a booked job for a plumbing company. These are the types of posts that we look for when we're doing Facebook content marketing for home service businesses. This is not, however, the primary way that we are getting, consistent leads for our clients. But do know that this is part of it. This is something that you can do on your own. Like I said, find these groups, look for posts like this where people are looking for the service that you offer. Of course, the thing is, don't just drop a picture of your business card or your name or anything like that. You're going to want to tell them a little about your business, and why they should hire you, right? You want to basically make them feel something, quite honestly, is what it is. Look through here. Like I said, you can see more groups where people are looking. Now, I find for our clients, when we are looking for the service areas, that they service, what are the local groups? Without fail, there's always going to be mom groups. So let's just look for Dallas moms and see what we find. So we are looking for just groups, so let's just click on see all here. Now, normally what happens is we would join these private groups if we had a client who was targeting, Dallas area. But I'm not going to join these for this video, so I'm going to have to open up some of these smaller ones just to kind of show you like what they are. Well, let's see what this one looks like. Like I said, usually these have people, asking for different services. Here we have someone who is promoting their moving service. Again, not the best way to turn a post into a booked job. Let's see here. Here we have someone promoting photography. This is a little better because you see an example of, pictures that they take, but this is still not the best way, again, to promote your local business in these groups. So let's scroll back up here and look at that post that we had when we came in. That was someone promoting their business. So this moving company, same day movers available. How could we make this a more appealing standalone post, right? Why not introduce yourself and your business? Why are you just going right into this, salesy, kind of copy? At Growth Keep It, with a service that we offer, we have a copywriter on staff who's won some awards for their writing, and what this person does is, come up with like a story about, not only the company itself, but the owners, the people who are behind the company. Use that story to introduce them to the community. This makes the community both connect with the company and its owners and actually care, right? So that, if they do need movers, for instance, they're going to be more likely to contact that company. Instead of picking the company who's just like, hey, looking to move, we're available. They didn't even put their phone number or anything up there. Instead, tell a story about your business, yourself. Maybe you just moved to Dallas and you want to let everyone know that, you just moved here. This is a family-owned business, that you're running and things like that. Those are the ways that you are going to basically connect with the people in these local Facebook groups, and actually, the time that you're spending, basically posting in these groups, you want to turn that time into booked jobs, and that is how you do it. That is a service that we offer. Like I said, 5 days a week we are covering, 100% of the local Facebook groups in your service area. Basically, introducing you to the business, letting them know that you're out there, what your story is, what your business is about. And that's how we're actually using Facebook groups to turn these posts, into actual booked jobs for our clients. And I'm going through this and showing you how it works because, yes, it is something that you can do on your own. It is very time consuming. We have a dedicated staff who this is all they do every day, 5 days a week. Identifying all of the groups in the service area, making sure that these groups allow, promotional posts, and then managing those posts and, that our copywriter comes up with the content for, to make sure that it's stuff that actually connects with the people in that area. And then, like I said, if we are finding things where someone is, like, say, looking for a plumber and we have a plumbing client in that area, then the copywriter is writing responses that actually resonate with the person who's looking, and it isn't just, like an advertisement or anything like that. So if you are running, like a local service business, like I said, you're spending at least $1,000 on ads, we guarantee that we can get you a better ROI with our Facebook group's content marketing group. If you're not spending that much, or maybe you just want to give it a go for yourself, you can use those tips to get started on your own. And if you've got any questions for me, regarding, the Facebook content marketing in the groups, maybe how you can go about doing it. Like I said, I'm not going to give away all of our secret sauce and how we make it work for our clients, but I will answer, any questions that I can for you. Thanks for watching.